What's up, everyone? This is Saiyan 91 back for a new Let's Play for you all. Let's play Wright Ace Attorney for the Nintendo DS. This game is actually going to be a bit different from what I've been doing recently. Basically, this is a text-style game. And basically what we're supposed to do is, we are a lawyer, defend our client, make sure he doesn't end up in the electric chair. And with that tiny introduction out of the way, let's begin episode 1, the first turnabout. And just in case you guys are wondering, I won't be doing what pretty much everyone else has been doing with the game. And by that I mean, everyone's been pretty much doing like voice acting and reading all the dialogue in the game. I won't be doing that. Not as much, I believe, because I will read some parts just to clarify some things up, just to make sure everyone gets the hint. And we pretty much play as the main character, Wright. Right now he's essentially a rookie lawyer, and this is our commanding lawyer-in-chief, Mia Fey. And we're talking about the reasons why Phoenix became an attorney in the first place, is because he felt they owed his friends something. And speaking of which, his friend actually makes an appearance. Oh god. And with dialogue like that, it sounds like he wants to do himself in. Yeah, that's normal. And this is our client, Larry Butts. And yes, get used to the names because they're going to be pulling this throughout the entire game. All 5 cases. Yes, there are 5 cases, and I believe only one new one was added for the DS version, and of course. Well, according to everyone else, it seems to be you, dude. Yes, everyone says that was your fault, dude, because fortunately you were at the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, as long as it's simple. Because, you know, murders are always very simple things. Yeah, don't worry too much about the first part. It's not going to be that difficult as with most games. They gotta kind of ease you into the whole, you know, defending and the court segments and such. But in the beginning, they won't cover one part of the game that you will be covering in the rest of the game. And that's the exploration. Here, it's just one court segment, and that's it. And speaking of which, let's get right down to it. And here is our judge. He pretty much sways either left or right. And over here, we got our prosecutor, Winston Payne. He pretty much serves as the beginning guy in all the Wright games / Ace Attorney series. He's always the tutorial guy. But since this is our first trial, the judge doesn't have that much faith in us. So what he will do is actually give us a few things to cover. Yes, a test to check our readiness. And Phoenix does not have faith in himself, obviously. A few questions, just 3 questions, that's simple. The defendant is the person who has been accused of the crime. In this case, that would be Larry. And I believe you can also make the funny choices, but they'll always steer you back to the multiple choice. But who is the victim? Well, let's hear it, Phoenix. And he forgot. Smooth. Yes, expect these parts to be very, very long since, again, this game is very, very text heavy. And also the occasional screw up on my part. And here we get to learn about the court record. The court record is pretty much where all the stuff that you learn in court is held. Like the autopsy reports and the profiles. Very important stuff. And here is the victim in the case, Miss Cindy Stone. So get used to using the court record a lot. Mia Fey, Cinder Block. Close but no cigar. Cindy Stone. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Indeed. Cause of death. As you see in the autopsy report, cause of death, loss of blood due to blood trauma. Thus, she was hit by a blunt object. Though they never said once. At least I don't think. Yeah, they never say once. Could have just been like repeated smacks across the face with it. Still no confidence, eh, Phoenix? Right, and the main thing with the prosecution is they're always supposed to, you know, try to get the guy who actually did it off. Like, say a person shot someone else, and the person who was shot would probably be the defendants if they survived the shooting. But the prosecution would probably be handling the person who actually did the shooting. Here we get a statue added to the court record. Basically, whenever they bring up a little picture like this with a gray background, that's always going to be added to the court record. And thus, anything added to the court record we can use to deal out contradictions during our cross-examinations. We'll get to that in a little bit. And first, they're bringing out Larry. Oh dear Jesus, no! Usually in the cases, the witness that they bring out, or whoever they bring out, will give out something called a testimony. Testimony is basically their side of the story. But for Larry, it's just comic relief. That's not a good thing, Larry. All tragically, I might add. So yeah, you were pretty much thrown like overused trash into the bin. Here, Payne's just gonna be an asshole to Larry and have him and try to make him spill, like, screw up or such. And here we get the victim's passport. And she was in Paris. And it gets added to the court record. You pretty much get to use anything, everything, but, like, our badge, which is this thing over here. I don't believe we ever get to use this. I might be wrong, but it's not very often. It's just for show, for the most part. Isn't sugar daddies essentially the same thing as a pimp? Except without the disgusting acts that the ladies must do. Someone explain that to me, please. She was a hoe. No, I don't want him to answer that at all. And here you get an option of seeing what happens or stop him from answering. In the first case, it really doesn't matter what you pick. The story will still continue on no matter what you picked. But for right now, we're gonna stop him from answering because Winston Payne's just being a douche. She-dog, really? Oh yeah, sure. I bet that's gonna go swimmingly, Larry. How dense are you? Yes, apparently he killed her because she was seeing other people. And you gotta answer the question, you gotta be under oath, you gotta say the truth as best you can. Here I always have him answer honestly, but again, it doesn't matter. The oddest signal ever. I doubt there's anyone that would actually know what that meant. But fortunately for Larry, he does know. Alright. She wasn't home, so nothing happened. How can you be so sure? Now he has a witness that states that Larry is lying, that he is the killer. Okay, let's see this so-called witness. This is bad. Alright, guy just doing his job. Frank saw it. Really, Capcom? Really? There are very few names in this game that are actually not puns. I believe Phoenix and Mia and the judge, of course, are like only a few of them. There might be others, but we'll know as we go along in this journey of attorney. Alright, seems like a very simple story, a very obvious witness stand testimony. Okay. Very good. You want to tell the people that someone's been murdered. 1 p.m. Keep that in mind, people. Now here comes another part of the game. The cross-examination, which means you pretty much pick apart the other person's statement. But first we gotta know about the blackout. And thank you, Winston Payne, for adding that to the record. And I believe our entire record for this segment will be filled. Now we may begin the cross-examination. Again, you pick apart the argument, see where you can find a contradiction. In other words, prove them wrong with something you have as evidence. And basically every defendant you have is basically innocent, and whoever they bring up is essentially guilty of doing something, if not the killing, then being involved in some sort of fashion. Skipping through all of Mia's dialogue because I can just explain it myself. So if you want like a more in-depth version of the game, then you're not gonna find it here. I'm basically going through this as fast as I can. On the bottom screen, you will see a button called Press. This way you can get more information out of the one statement that you have picked. But usually it doesn't add up to much, at least not in this trial. If Phoenix spots a contradiction, then he will state something about like, oh, this seems funny in a way, or that doesn't seem right. So the game kind of tells you, it flat tells you what's wrong and what's right. And on the top screen, you'll see 5 exclamation points. If you screw up on a segment, then you won't get one of those removed. Get all of them removed, and it's game over. Which means your client automatically gets found guilty because you screwed up too damn much. And I'm just going to basically skip to the part where I can contradict him or have him just present my evidence. Time was 1 p.m. and yet the autopsy report states that the time of death was around 4 or 5 p.m. So that statement is wrong. How sure are you? Because I think I think you're full of crap. Yeah, the witnesses never get brought up on the evidence whatsoever. At least not from what I've seen of the game. I've pretty much seen all of it, but it's been quite a while since I've seen it. Trivial my ass. See, even the judge agrees with me. He's on my side. He knows you're full of crap. And keep in mind, I'm just trying to play in character because, of course, the characters do not see the opening scene of what has happened. Of course, they gotta find out for themselves. Can't go screaming into your monitor, oh, he's a killer! It's not gonna work. If you think that's gonna work, what is wrong with you? And here he gives a second testimony now that he's been contradicted. This basically happens every time you find a contradiction in someone's logic. Just been watching a videotape program.